Hey guys, Zach here. I know it's called football, coming to you after the loss to Liverpool in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. Liverpool winning 2-0, knocking us out of the only opportunity we had this year to win a trophy. And by the looks of it, they'll most likely take it themselves coming up against Chelsea, a team pretty out of form. So, look, there's lots to talk about as always. And, I just want to say my first couple points here. In my opinion, I think the team let down the fans, and I think they let down the manager as well. Mikel Arteta set the team up, very very strong team. Really given the circumstances, the strongest team he could probably play. Lots of players coming back from injury. Odegaard coming back from having COVID. And the second player, I'm not sure exactly who that was. I don't know if they were involved or not. So perhaps that's on me for not knowing. But when I go over the player ratings, and there'll be much more to talk about. But look, in my opinion, I think they let Mikel down. I'm not sure I've ever seen a camera cut to a manager so many times as it did today, and it just seemed like the passes. Everything was off today. There was that pass late in the second half from Emil Smith Rowe when we were on the break, and very, very unlike him. And he's just come back from injury, and I'm not attacking him. I'm not attacking any of our players, but it was a very, very poor pass and lazy from Emil Smith Rowe. That pass. It just wasn't our day, man. It wasn't our day. Liverpool deserved to win that. Absolutely, they deserved to win it. We hit the post very early on. They hit the post as well, and you have to say Diego Jota just was the star of the show. He's an absolutely fantastic player. You have to say, I wonder what Wolves would be like if he never left there. But I suppose that's a question for another day. Yeah, getting back to it, I think you could tell the reaction from Mikel Arteta every time he was shown slumping over in his seat, even after the Emil Smith Rowe pass. Lots of hands in the air. We know he's very very vocal on the sideline. He's very animated as a coach, and you have to say really, the reactions from him summed it up. I mean, it's exactly how I felt. At a certain point during the game in the second half, I was slumped over and hand on my head, and I was bored. Really, I was bored. When Martinelli got on the ball, I sat up a bit. Saka getting on the ball, I sat up a bit. There was plenty of good movement, but look, Liverpool remain, one of the best teams in the world, despite the fact that they had a couple of youngsters on there. Their back four was perhaps their strongest back four they could have. Joel Matip, Van Dijk, Alexander Arnold is there. Robertson is there as well. No Alisson, but you have to say the keeper made a very good save from Lacazette actually in the first half from that free kick. So, look, it's a dangerous side, and it was always going to be a difficult game. How we managed to hold on with 10 men at Anfield, I don't quite know. A different mentality, honestly. I'll answer my own question. The mentality that day, the fight that we saw, we looked a different team today, man. I mean, it was very, very disappointing. And again, not having a go at anyone, I don't mean to come off like that. I'm not trying to punch up at all, but in my opinion, I thought that the fans today were a bit quiet and didn't really hear as much as I would have liked from the fans today. I know it's difficult. I can only imagine how difficult it is, especially when you're a goal down. But just overall, I was pretty disappointed from the game. The players, I just feel so let down and so deflated. I had a really good feeling, especially after that first leg, that we showed Liverpool what we could do. We could defend and attack them on the break. Had a couple chances in that first leg to score a goal or two. But look, at the end of the day, Liverpool deserve to win, in my opinion. And it is what it is. I mean, there's our chance at a trophy this year gone. There's absolutely no more excuses for distractions. And speaking of, we had a week off in between these games. Obviously, the Tottenham game being postponed. Still hearing, God knows what on Twitter about that, and it's just becoming such a toxic talking point. Excuse me. So it is what it is, and Liverpool deserve to win, and I would imagine they go on to beat Chelsea in the final as well. So let's just go over some of the players and talk about the performances today. Actually, real quickly, I want to mention the first 15 minutes seemed to be a very important it seems to be a very important time for Arsenal and just in general, because we seem to be on the front foot the first 15 minutes in a lot of games that we play, and it's like 15-minute FC. Like Martinelli was running rampant. Trent Alexander Arnold was having a very hard time in those first 15 minutes, and I don't know if Klopp made adjustments or Alexander Arnold caught on. Obviously, I mean, fantastic player, brilliant right back. So I don't know what changed. I don't know if there was a change in, obviously there was no formation change. Liverpool move around all the time, but it just seemed like after that, the players weren't on Martinelli's level today. And again, I don't know if it's a fitness thing. I'm not making excuses. I know Mikel Arteta won't be making any excuses for the performance today, but that was interesting to see the way the game had just changed. And a side like Liverpool, the players I have and experience I have, most likely just them catching on to it and seeing the dangers and doubling up on Martinelli, doubling up on Bukayo Saka on the right-hand side as well. So I don't know what else to say. I mean, they deserve to win, and I'm just going to get into talking about the players today and how they performed. I thought Aaron Ramsdale looked a bit jittery, also jittery in the first leg. Just a look in his eyes is I don't know what it is. A little unkempt. Not that sounds strange, I suppose, but he just looked a little bit off. The confidence is not exactly there. The first goal, a lot of people giving him slack for that. It was a very awkward shot. He's expecting a hard-driven shot. Ben White is there, Gabriel is there. It's a very crowded area. He can't quite see the ball, and Jota didn't hit it how he would have liked. Sort of shanked it, and it was a very slow roller. And sometimes you see goals like that. It's a freak goal. And he was just, all his weight was on the left side of his body, and I mean, finding it. I mean, I've played goalkeeper. You can't your body. You can't move like that. All your weight is to the side, and he did his best to try to get a hand out. I mean, he landed on his shoulder and trying to, his arm was behind him, and he did his best to get there. It perhaps you could say it's down to poor goalkeeping, but he was certainly surprised by the way the ball was hit, and I think he could have saved it, but it just comes down to really it just wasn't our day. I don't know how else to say it, but Ramsdale a little disappointing for me today. Tomiyasu as well seemed unfit. Actually, he seemed pretty unfit. I know he's coming back from an injury, Tomiyasu, and gave the ball away quite a lot. Diogo Jota gave him a very, very hard time today. He's a fantastic player. So Tomiyasu for me, maybe his worst game in an Arsenal shirt. Benjamin White, Gabriel, average today, nothing too spectacular. Lots and lots of passing between the two, lots of passing over the top, trying to hit those long balls that didn't really work out. A couple of times, Martinelli, very, very good touch in the first half from that pass from Benjamin White, but just didn't really work out. I thought they did all right. Tierney did his job well, as he always does, bombing forward, getting back defensively. I thought Tierney didn't really do anything wrong today, did his job, and you can't really ask much more from Kieran Tierney, in my opinion. Sambi Lokonga today, a couple good moments, the ball over for Lacazette, who should have done way better, and I'll get into that and our striker options a bit later on in the video, but I thought he was poor today. Sambi Lokonga overall, I thought he was poor. Nothing like the player we first saw in the start of the season when he was playing. Don't know what that's about. Confidence. I mean, he's been just dropped in favor of Granit Xhaka and that Thomas Partey partnership. So poor game from Sambi Lokonga overall. A couple bright moments, but looked a little uncomfortable in that position. A very awkward formation, really. To say the least. Odegaard was moving everything, was the engine coming back from COVID. You question his fitness. Played the whole 90. I thought he was. I thought he had an alright game. I mean, it just we didn't have room. We didn't really even have room to have these quick intricate passes 1-2. Odegaard is so good at that. I thought in the second half that loop ball he played over to Saka, he just dwelled on the ball a little too long for me, a little indecisive from Odegaard today. But again, so many players coming back. Emile Smith-Rowe, Odegaard, Tomiyasu coming back. Thomas Partey when he came back, from AFCON. lots of issues today. It just wasn't our day. I know I've said it 100 times already, but look, to be honest, anyone watching this video, if you've probably only heard me say it once because you've been skipping through it anyway. So I digress. Emile Smith-Rowe was decent, but a couple just poor passes, man. Again, earlier on when I talked about the counterattack and that really poor, it was like Diego Jota's shot actually, the way it just rolled, and Van Dijk didn't even have to sprint to get it from Bukayo Saka before it reached him. He just wandered over and picked it up, and just pretty average, and really I have to say an overall a poor game from Smith Rowe today. Saka was dangerous as always. I think Liverpool, however, did a very good job today at containing him. What was the bright spark, and had a chance or two, but really no shots. And again, he's very quick. He's very nimble and smart. The way he moves the ball, it's hard to defend against him, which is why you see 2 or 3 people on him all the time. Just couldn't get anything going, and that goes for every player, man. It goes for every player on the pitch today. We couldn't get anything going. Gabriel, for me, the best Arsenal player on the pitch by far. Those first 15 minutes, again, like I said, terrorizing Trent Alexander Arnold. But a world class right back like him, a defender like him, he's going to catch on eventually, and he did just that. And Gabriel was doubled up on, but credit to Klopp and the Liverpool players. They know what they're doing. The way they're set up, it's such a fantastic team, Liverpool. So it was always going to be difficult, to score a goal. But I fancied us for one at least. I thought it was going to be a closer game than it was really. But it is what it is. Lacazette was quiet today. Didn't really get too much going. Was dropping really, really deep. In fact, hanging out on that right wing with Saka most of the game actually. 30 minutes into the game, really, he was really hanging around that right wing, sitting deep. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what else to say. It's just, I'm so disappointed, and the players today just weren't doing the little things right. Players slipping on and off the ball, Liverpool players slipping as well. That's not an excuse, but just sloppy today. And I think I'd put it down to players not training. I can't even say that. I heard it and I can't even say that. We had a week off. Man. Thursday to Thursday. The same team. You play the same team. I just think the players let us down today. I think they let the manager down. That's all really. I don't know what else to say. We talk about a disciplined team and the way Mikel Arteta has enforce this discipline and the things he's done to change the culture, which he has. I can give him credit to that. You can see the attitude and the players he brings in. You can see that things are changing. But you'd speak about discipline. 11 red cards in 2 years under Mikel Arteta since December 26, 2019. 6 days after Mikel started, took charge of Arsenal. 11 red cards for the Gunners under Mikel Arteta in 2 years. And I mean, Thomas Partey's red card today, in fact, I think that makes it 12 as a matter of fact. So could be 13. Jesus Christ, I don't even know at this point. I don't know the article I read. I think it was a little old, a couple months. So fucking me, it's maybe 13. I don't know. Look, we're running out of options. Midfield now, we are in deep trouble for Sunday against Burnley, and they're going to be up for it. It's Burnley. Dangerous times for them. A very good chance they could be relegated this season. No Xhaka, no Thomas Partey, and that performance from Sambi Lokonga was pretty worrying. I would imagine we would probably see Odegaard and Sambi Lokonga in as well. Although El Neni coming back, maybe we'll see a start from El Neni. But the way things are going, perhaps he's going to be on his way out also in this window. So yeah, it just. No, Aubameyang, Lacazette seems to be our only real solid option, and Kedia coming off the bench again. There's no options. We need sorting out. I think whatever happens in this January window, the Arthur deal seems to be stalling. Juventus pushing for an 18-month loan, and they need a replacement, and 18-month loan with an obligation. We just need somebody to come in, a midfielder and a striker. We know that they're working. We know that they're pushing for Dusan Vlahovic. The deal's stalling due to the player and his agent. The agent very, very keen on waiting for the summer, but Arsenal pushing now because they know in the summer there's going to be a lot of top teams in for him, in for Vlahovic. So it's tricky, and it's the 20th of January, man. We got what? How many days are in January? 30, 31? We got 11 days to sign potentially 2 players or at least one. It's going to be really, really, really difficult. And I just want to say one thing. I had a tweet about saying I hate Diego Jota or something like that, and like it's a reactionary tweet right after the guy scored. I hate him because he doesn't play because he plays so well against us, and he's an absolutely fantastic player, world-class player. Look, the 2 goals he scored today were brilliant goals. I take that back. The second goal was brilliant. He scored against us twice today. Oh my God. He won the game for Liverpool, man. He knocked us out of the semi-cup, the semi-final. I'm losing my mind. Look, let me just end it there. Well played to Liverpool. They deserve to win. We had everything. Everything was wrong for us today. The first yellow for the Thomas Partey challenge. I don't know how that was a yellow. 2 fouls from Thomas Partey, 2 cards. 2 fouls, 2 cards, and he's sent off. Fabinho's got 5+ fouls. He's on 1 yellow, constantly dragging players back. And Martin Atkinson lets us pass the ball backwards to go forward and gives it the advantage instead of calling a foul as it's happening. I mean, he did it for Liverpool 2 or 3 times. He called the foul immediately. So, look, guys, that's it from me. I'm gonna close it up there. Thanks very much for watching. If you have made it this far, I really do appreciate it, and I will see you when I see you.